Yeah.
Okay, everybody, last call for anybody joining us today. You know, this is fun. It's fun to be back here. I know pretty much everybody here, and I'm Barbara, and I'm back in this capacity, and I'm really very excited today to have this press conference with Maia and Alex Shibutani going into the Hall of Fame for many, many reasons. Excited a lot from me personally because they're one of my first athletes. When I came in 2011, they were up and coming and obviously just lighting the world on fire. So it's really fun to be back with the Shibutanis. A little aside, our headquarters staff, which is about 50 people in Colorado Springs, they're excited because when they were young children, Maia and Alex would volunteer packing boxes and snowplow Sam things and walking up to our staff and saying, what can I do to help? And Maia actually asked me about our building manager, is Richard still there? And Richard is still there, but we have so much history with the two of them. So proud of both of you for all you've accomplished. The quick rundown is available on our website. Obviously, two-time Olympic medalist, three-time world medalist, two-time U.S. champions, but my favorite stat for you guys is every single time that they were here at Nationals, they stood on the podium. That's 14 consecutive times on a U.S. Championships podium. That's amazing. That's a level of excellence I don't know that we'll see again. They've worked with the State Department as sports envoys. Right now, they are currently authors with 2 books. I believe we have a 3rd one coming out soon. And ladies and gentlemen, class of 2023 U.S. Figure Skating Hall of Famers, Maia and Alex Shibutani. So, Alex or Maia, would you like to open with a statement, or you want to go straight to questions?
This isn't a statement, but thank you, Barb. It's really special to be here with you this week, and I feel like we've experienced so much, not only with you, but a lot of the people that are here in this room. Hi, Troy. Yeah, no, just I think the anecdote about us being at U.S. Figure Skating headquarters when we were young, sorting through photos from the 2006 Olympic Games that were coming in. I remember watching, well, we weren't watching, but the photos on Getty Images were coming in from the ladies' short program. And so we were sort of categorizing all of them. And
creating the selects and the files, yeah.
Yeah, packing patches and pins to be sent out in the
10
mail.
count, it was really
in
good
exchange for a can of soda, I think, right? Times have changed, but those were really fun days. And so, yeah, I think our relationships and our connections in the sport all over the country, really, because before Colorado Springs, we were on the East Coast in Connecticut, New York, New Jersey. And so it's special to be here at Nationals again, and yet another place where we have so many memories and so much history as competitive skaters and performers. And
even being in the media room, before we were competing at the senior national championship level, I was doing backstage photography and you were kind of a follow-along reporter. So it's very special to be back here with all of you.
So great, let's open it up for questions. And we're a small group, so just raise your hand and get a microphone. Lynn?
Hi, Maia. Hi, Alex. A lot of memories. Can you talk a little bit about what it is you're doing in LA, why you decided to move there, your work as sports envoys, and really what you're pursuing these days?
We moved to Los Angeles in 2018, and that was after we had started spending time there in 2012, because for our creative process, we had a lot of great collaborators there, so it wasn't a case where we spun a globe and stuck our fingers out and we're like, oh, this is where we'll be next. It's a really inspiring place for us in the work that we're doing now. Yeah,
there was a community already there that we were familiar with, and I think that if you followed our career, one of the things that has been consistent, despite obviously the skating has been consistent, but I think the way that we have shared our experience in the sport and worked to grow the sport has been through storytelling both on and off the ice. And somewhat stereotypically, Los Angeles is a city that is known for being a hub, a center for storytelling. And so as we kind of continue to grow and challenge ourselves and learn more about our various interests, we thought that that was a really good place to be.
Just follow up. Where do you see yourselves, or what do you possibly in any creative field, film production, I'm making that up. Certainly, you've done a lot in the past with music production. What are your thoughts on that? Do you plan on expanding into a creative area?
One of the things that I think that we're really proud of is that as we continue to work on different projects, we still think of each other as being good teammates. And so that's going to continue.
Yeah, we're very fortunate to have this. It's really not built in because the amount of work that we've had to put into our partnership, our relationship, to be able to execute at a high level on the ice, and then also sort of align our different viewpoints creatively with all of our various projects. It takes a lot of work, but we obviously love each other a lot, and so that family component is there. I'm trying to remember where the question started.
What types of projects are we doing?
Oh, okay. So yeah, I mean, I think the books are out there. We created a book series that released in 2020 and 2021, and Barb is right. Our third book is our first children's picture book, and that's coming out in April 18th. And we're really excited about that because I think also in line with our experience in skating, that book focuses on a group of change makers and people from the Asian American and Pacific Islander community, us not included, from history and then also contemporary figures. And we wanted to create this book because it was a book that we wish we had had the opportunity to read when we were younger. Obviously, we've been so fortunate to have so many role models in the sport from all sorts of backgrounds and all walks of life. But for the Asian American and Pacific Islander community, we wanted to be able to create that, not only for them, but so that everyone can learn more about these accomplishments and be inspired and then be empowered to make the world a better place.
And continue to do their own research. And for us, creating books for children has been really rewarding because even though the first two came out during the pandemic, they're really savvy at using Zoom, and to be able to interact or meet kids who have read the stories and to know that they really connected with them. And then especially with the picture book coming out, that's an experience that children have with someone else who's reading with them. And so to know that that'll be a formative memory is really special.
And that is, I think, books are a category that is a creative vertical that is different from skating, certainly. And you did mention production and music and television and film. We are developing projects. We are working on some things, but at the present moment, we aren't able to talk more about them in consideration of our partners with those things.
And let me interject very quickly. The Shibutanis are the first non-white ice dancers as Olympic medalists, and certainly U.S. figure skating ranks. And Alex is the first Asian American male in our Hall of Fame. Is that true?
Yes.
Yeah,
and that's not something, I mean, we've known everyone in this room for a really long time. And, the Olympics in 2018 it was an incredible experience for us. And we're so proud of those accomplishments. And fortunately, since 2018, I think our sports society, our culture as a whole has become more comfortable with talking about those types of things, with representation, with people coming from different places, and the nature of society in general, but also in this particular case, skating. And so sometimes we're surprised by the firsts nature of what we've accomplished, but we see things trending in a positive direction, and we're hopeful for the future and to see what happens next.
And I can say this, I'm extremely proud of Alex just because I know that for me, I had great skaters like Christiane Maguchi and Michelle Kwan to look up to, but you didn't necessarily have someone who visually represented you in skating that you could follow. And so I definitely have seen that impact when we meet young skaters who are so excited to meet Alex, and you always do such a great job with them.
Yeah, I don't know if this is interesting, but it wasn't until after the games in 2018 where we realized we were the first non-white ice dance team to land on an Olympic podium. And land probably isn't the right word because that kind of sounds like coincidental, like a bird.
Or
just
like
landed.
a single skater or something.
Yeah.
Right?
So scrub that from the record. But yeah, I mean, the Olympics have held ice dancing as an event since 1976. And so, 3 medalists at every games, and for us to be the first, I don't know what that says, but I think that I'm glad that we accomplished that, so that hopefully the sport can continue to grow and more people can feel included and welcome and enjoy what we've enjoyed so much about it.
Hey guys, the question I have is, obviously the Olympics were a pinnacle of a lifetime of work with both of you, and but in addition to that, can you pick 1 or 2 other moments in your career where they're really defining in your minds, and also speak to what your folks meant to your careers? I know they traveled to every single competition. I want to say maybe there was one, but I want to, if I have this right, it was Finlandia at 2000 something.
What a flex.
But anyway, I mean, having that parental support had to mean everything. But could you speak to those 2 things?
We're so grateful that we have the parents that we have, just because they were musicians and we found figure skating when we were kids, and they were so excited that we had something that we were passionate about. And I think that the trajectory of the journey that we've been on is something that none of us could have necessarily anticipated, but the fact that they've had that unconditional support for us along the way, and especially as we were in the senior ranks, their ability to, along with our coaching team, trust us in the decisions that we were making and basically focus on facilitating and supporting to the best of their ability, while also letting us know that it was our choice to be partaking in this. And I think that freedom to know that no matter how difficult certain circumstances are, you're choosing to be in the fight or the daily grind, that was really empowering for us.
Yeah, our parents have never wanted anything else for us but for us to be happy. And obviously the journey isn't all happiness, but we're so privileged in terms of, again, Maia saying they trusted us and allowed us to make decisions. And again, they were at every competition that they could go to. And so knowing that we had family there was always really meaningful. And the experience of competing for as long as we have, and skating together for as long as we have, it truly is a family
Experience.
It's a family experience, and I know it's a family experience for so many skaters, but I think very uniquely for us. Yeah.
They've always been a really grounding presence, and they continue to just be able to provide that perspective. And just thinking of all the sacrifices that they had to make along the way, but us never feeling that additional pressure, I think was so important in the way that we were able to enjoy practice in the process. And then you asked about what moments we can recall apart from the 2018 games. I think 2014 was really impactful just because we dreamed of going to the Olympics since we were children, and so joining Team USA as a greater whole was amazing and inspiring for the next 4 years. And then probably 2016, both the national championships when we won our first title, and then had the chance to compete in Boston at the World Championships was very memorable.
Yeah, having that home worlds is something that I wish for every skater. That home nationals, that home worlds, that home regionals competition, feeling that boost of adrenaline and energy and crowd support.
And to be fair for whoever experiences that next, I think that there's this idea that it's all positive. There's a lot of pressure too, because you have so many people who want you to do well, but I'm just proud that we were able to embrace that energy and really run with it.
When you hear people talk about having dreams as children, competing at the Olympics or being on the ice at a big competition, it's never really like the crowd goes mild. It's with that companionship. It's with that environment.
The exchange of energy.
And that's what makes our sport so special. It's the people. It's the people in the media, it's the fans, it's the volunteers, it's the officials. It's everything, yeah.
And to Troy's point about their parents, Chris and Naomi, are of course here for their Hall of Fame induction this weekend. One more question.
A great
Good to see you guys, both of you. And my question is, what is it like having come from learn to skate and then having gone through nationals as juvenile, intermediate, novice, junior, senior, becoming national champions, world champions, or world medalists and Olympic medalists? Here you are being inducted into the U.S. Figure Skating Hall of Fame. What does that feel like for you? And how do you feel like it's going to affect you and the sport here going forward?
We're so grateful to the inducting committee, and just to think of joining all the athletes who are in, as well as having this experience with Paul George, I think will be a really special day. And when you talk about the journey from the very beginning, I'm very fortunate that I have some early video from when I was first skating, and I have to say I'm extremely grateful to some of the early coaches that we had, because that's your first experience with the sport, and that sense of fun is what drew me in. And obviously, as you continue, like Alex mentioned earlier, it's not always fun, but I think that we've just had so many great people influence us at different points in our career, and that's really impacted our journey.
I think that's what I meant, Liz, when I said sort of our unique family experience, because really from day one to now, it has been family. In the most intense competitive circumstances, the most disappointing, frustrating sort of valleys of the journey, but we've stuck together and we've believed in each other, and so that definitely makes something like today so much more meaningful to us. And yeah, I think to echo Maia, we've been so fortunate to cross paths with and walk alongside so many incredibly talented but also kind and generous people, whether it be for years, months, days, an hour of lesson time, because that is the nature of this sport and the way that we've approached it, always seeking to grow and improve and learn from people who wanted to teach. And they have made us the people that we are today. And we will always represent figure skating and the sport of ice dance in anything that we do. And kind of remarking back to what I was saying about our unique experiences as Asians or Asian Americans or a sibling team, any of the things that made us different, the more people that get to experience this sport, the more people will represent it when they leave, if they never leave, and that makes the world a more beautiful place, because we all appreciate the beauty of this sport and the lessons that we all learn, and how influential and amazing these special moments can be.
So, and as we wrap this up, bringing this full circle, Maya and Alex will participate today in the ice dance medal ceremony, and I believe they will be congratulating former competitors of theirs, which will be interesting as well, but also young competitors who have looked up to them as well. So a wonderful full circle moment. Maya and Alex, congratulations. Thank you both for bringing, making time for us today. And everybody, thank you too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. George, you want a picture?
Oh, yeah. Let's go. Yeah.
Thank you.